Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. Just showing you there I'm working in my altered wine book. And if you've seen this video before, I do apologise. I had to take it down and re-edit it as I forgot to take out the fast-forwarded voices that sounded like a bunch of chipmunks partying in the background. Not sure why I didn't hear it when I did the original voiceover. Weird computer. So the background was pre-done in my book. Sometimes I just feel like sticking stuff to stuff, so I did that background a while ago. November art journaling habit. Yeah, I know it's probably February or March when this goes up, but I did this back in November. Art journaling habit, we got a prompt every day. Today's prompt was bite. So I decided to do some magazine cutouts, so you can see the magazines at the front. So here I'm just adding a layer of translucent paint. It's Micador Kids paint, so it's translucent. That's, yeah, not opaque. So I wanted to marry those, marry together those pattern papers in the background, and sort of you put a light wash of a colour over the top that's transparent. It sort of marries them all together, I suppose is the best word I can come up with at the moment, and sort of ties them all together. So also I did want to take out the white, so I added that, just drying that off. The Micador paint's good for some certain areas because it is translucent, so it's great in this type of situation, but sometimes it's not. So then I decided it needed some purple, so I grabbed the purple Micador paint as well and decided to put a layer over the top. So the purple is metallic. Possibly the pink wasn't. The pink was like a fluoro. So the metallic is shining a lot with the light. I do apologise. I do need to fix my lighting situation. I looked at Kmart the other day for another clip-on light to clip on the other side of my tripod, so I can have two lights shining, and hopefully they will stop the shiny sort of blobs of light I get, but they didn't have any. So I have to go to Bunnings next time I'm out and about. So I grabbed one of my stencils that I do sell on my website. Fortunately, my website's down at the moment because my laser machine is tracking a big hissy fit and needs to go to Melbourne for some repairs. Machinery, I don't know. It's like having a second child. So just using a baby wipe to wipe some of the purple paint away. While it's still wet, and I wanted that pink to show through. So that worked to an okay effect. Didn't get as big effect as I was hoping, but you can still see it. Because the pink paint had dried, it didn't actually wipe back to being white spots. It just wiped away the paint that was wet, which was the purple on the top. And sorry about the shaking table. Again, I've got to fix my table. I know I've been saying that for a while. I have a whole big list of to-do things. Keeps getting longer. To-do list should be getting shorter. You can really see it now with some of the patterns, so it looks really cool. So just wanted to add some more interest in the background. This is a great way with the paper scraps in the background to use up small pieces of scrapbook paper or pattern paper. I tend to throw them all in a box and then just go through and pull out random ones and stick them to a page. And then eventually come back and fill the page. I found November was a great way to actually go through a lot of my pre-done backgrounds and add something to them, as it made it a nice quick page. I didn't have to sit there for like a while and make the background, then make the foreground. So that was my idea. I think I got to about 13 prompts in November in 2018, hoping to get more done in 2019. I have great ambition, but sometimes the execution is not as well. So unfortunately, in November, started December, I started on a healthy eating plan, and none of those foods are on my eating plan. Not the chocolate cake, not the white cake, not the little cakes, or whatever that other thing in the middle is. So I decided to play with pictures that represent things I couldn't eat, and it made me really hungry. Maybe I won't do that. So gluing down the magazine pictures with matte Mod Podge. Not my favourite product, but hey, I'm a price snob, not a brand snob, so if I can get something cheap, I'll use it. That's okay. I do prefer Liquitex Matte Gel Medium, just because even though this one is a matte Mod Podge, it's still a bit glossy. I don't think they actually got what the definition of matte Mod Podge was, because it still has a bit of a shine on it. Not as glossy as the glossy, but I still don't like it. But I'm using up what I have. This year, 2019, is to use up what I have and to not buy stuff as much. I decided spending frees would be like just ridiculous. So my mantra for this year is to use more than I buy. We'll see how we go. We're only at the end of February, and I'm doing so well so far. Haven't been arting much, but I haven't been buying much, so I think I'm about even. But we'll see what happens in the coming months. Trying to stay away from the stores, and anytime I get email notifications of sales, I sort of have a quick look and go, do I really need it? No, okay. I've had a look, and then I don't get back to the site. So my big cleaver there from a magazine. I love magazine images to use in my art journal. They just give the foreground great pictures, and you can find some really cool ones. So I'm also trying not to bring so much magazine slash junk mail slash free crap that I pick up around the traps into my house, because I really can't walk past a good free magazine without grabbing one. And it's amazing when you start looking, there is so much free sort of ephemera stuff you can grab. So again, I went through a lot of them the other day and just took out the 3 or 4 pages per magazine that I would use, and then I have turfed the rest out. So I threw out probably about 5 boxes of stuff, which was really good. So what am I up to now? Oh, gluing the cleaver down, giving that a bit of a dry. I usually have my art page out next to me, but because I've already done this voiceover, I decided to do it again. I couldn't rescue the original video. I don't know why I didn't save it with the voiceover. I will have to make sure I do that. Just trying to straighten out some of the wrinkles. When I stick magazine pages down, I try to get them wrinkleless, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Now I got this very sad looking pack of stickers from Kaisercraft. These are really, really old and they don't really stick anymore, and as you can see, there's not many letters left, so I get kind of creative. You can see there the S, I'm actually using the negative space. The 2 outside pages that are just white, I have used that negative space in another art journal page, and I think these ones are just about very sad. Just about at the stage where I can't spell any letters, and I'm just going to use them as background elements on another art journal page. But I do persist and get what I need. I also do cut down a lot of letters as well. I think I cut down L's to be I's. I tend to run out of the common letters, like everyone does. I could have gone and got another sheet of stickers, but I like the purple, and I decided to persist with cutting them up. I don't particularly like this style of the mixed jumbled letters in my scrapbooking. I like that to be a bit more nicer, but art journaling is all about fun and play, and this looks really cool. I even end up using a 3 as an E. Just chop it off a little and turn 180 degrees around the wrong way, and then it's amazing what you can use. There's the E. That was the 3. Now I decided the just a little at the top was just not standing out as much as I'd like. So this was on my desk. So this is just basically black paint in a fine liner tip bottle. So I just wanted to put some black down behind the letters, and while I had that in my hand, I decided my page needed a border because everything looked like it was floating in midair. I don't like things floating. I like things to be grounded. I'm weird that way. I like things to have a ground, like things to be up the right way. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, very anal like that, I suppose. So just giving that a bit of a dry, and then when I use letter stickers, I always add a glue underneath them when I'm art journaling, because that paint, the letter stickers don't like to stick well to paint or over matte Mod Podge, which is usually where I stick them. So I do put down a layer of matte Mod Podge and then a layer over the top. They do slide around a bit, so it's a bit fun. I'm sorry, I can't really see with the glare what I'm doing, but you'll be able to see it in a minute. Basically, just sticking stuff to stuff. So I'd like to take the opportunity while I am sticking stuff to stuff. If you like these kind of videos, give us a thumbs up. I don't say this in a lot of my videos. I should, but my perception is if you're on YouTube, you sort of know about the thumbs up, you know about the comments, and you know about subscribing to channels. So I really don't like to ram it down your throat every time, but because I've got a few minutes to spare, why not? So thumbs up if you like this video, that'd be great. My channel is very varied, and sometimes my 11-year-old pops on and does stuff with me as well. And subscribe to our channel. We're nearly going to hit 900 subscribers. We're planning a big bash for 1,000, hoping to hit that before the end of the year. But our numbers keep trickling up slowly, then trickling down. It's fun to watch them. You go up one day, you go down the other day. That's hilarious. And leave us a comment. Let me know if you art journal. Do you use magazines or do you like to paint and draw? I tend to do a variety of things. I should draw more in my art journals. Maybe that's something I can do in 2019. Magazine images are just quicker. They give you great instant gratification. It's already a coloured image. You can just slap on your page and move on. Sometimes I do sit there and draw out an image and then watercolor it or colour it in. Colouring in and me is not friendly. I don't like it. When all these colouring magazines coming in about 10 years ago, art therapy, colour yourself, de-stress yourself, yeah, no. I tried one book and threw it out. I prefer to get the colouring books for images in art journaling or to actually redraw and get inspired to redraw the images. So I have picked up a few colouring books in the last few years to actually redraw from, so I do enjoy doing that. It's a bit more stimulating than sitting there and colouring. Yes, colouring works for some people, but unfortunately I'm not one of those people. So I just grabbed my watercolour pencils, my very poor watercolour pencils, wanting a Stibiler oil pencil, and maybe because my watercolour pencil is so small, I might be able to justify buying one. Yeah, I need to try. As I said, if I've got something that works in my stash, I don't really like to buy a second thing. So this sort of works in my watercolour set. I've had those pencils for years, and black's obviously well used. So just trying to add a bit of shadow and dimension between the between the magazine shapes. It is not a good voiceover on my YouTube channel without a yawn. For some reason, I can go all day without yawning. I can sit down to do a voiceover, and apparently I yawn. Maybe my computer makes me bored. Then I decided it just needs a bit more black, so I grabbed an alcoholic marker, as I call them. Just a cheapo one from Aldi supermarket I got a couple of years ago, and just using that to outline. When you do put it over matte Mod Podge, it is still wet for a couple of seconds, so you can smudge it with your finger, which looks really cool. So just wanting to define and give the plates a bit of shadow, so as I stuck the 4 on, I wanted to create a bit of depth, so there was sort of depth on the table, so it didn't look like they were all sitting up the front. I like to do that with my art journal pages. I like to have sort of a front ground, a middle ground, and a background. So the background in this was the pattern paper, the middle ground was the paint, and the foreground were the food images. So just going around those letters, some of the letters stuck up just above the black paint and were getting lost, so I just added a little bit more. I think that's about done. Then I decided to scribble inside the letters. Around the letters. I think I'm almost done, and then I go and add something else. And often I film these videos. This was filmed in November, so when it comes to voiceover time, I sort of forget what I do next. Maybe I should get up to date with my videos. We're about to come to the part of this session that is the still photos, the close-ups. There's a little bit of close-up. That's a bit of a fast close-up. You can see the stenciling a lot more in the close-ups. So I'll leave you with the close-ups, and I will pop this video back on YouTube. And hopefully those squeaking squirrels don't appear in this video again. Bye for now.